Momina Mustehsan, thank you for coming in to the BBC today. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me.
This was a really kind of last minute kind of thing, and I'm so glad it's happened because we spoke on the phone just a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
But to actually have you here and sit down and talk in detail about your career and your aspirations, your inspirations, is quite rare. You don't actually do that many interviews.
I don't. I get really awkward.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm always having to explain myself.
Right, okay.
So well, if there's a camera in front of me, I get super awkward anyway.
Okay.
But not anymore. I've kind of...
So let's actually talk about this. Let's talk about all the hurdles you've had to overcome to even get to this point. Like you said, you do get a little bit shy. You don't like cameras in front of you. And they're two very important parts of being part of the entertainment industry, right?
So the thing is, I never signed up for it. It just happened. So just because I like singing doesn't mean I also have to be confident. Well, I am confident, but like I don't have to be super comfortable in front of the camera. Or it's about what you're trying to bring to the table. I'm trying to express myself through music, and that shouldn't have to necessarily entail everything else as well. But I know it's part of the package and part of the deal and part of what we do, where we have to be in front of the camera. So I'm trying to come to terms with it. See, I'm not super awkward, but...
No. We spoke a couple of weeks ago where you said you find it strange how people can't get past my face. You know, that's quite interesting as well. You know, there is a lot of people who, when they describe Momina, it's not just the voice. They think you're a really pretty girl and they think that you fit this image of a pop star as well in a lot of ways. Do you wish people wouldn't look at the way you look?
I mean, you know, when people say, people call me a celebrity or pops, I can't even say that with a straight face because I feel like, I'm like, who are they talking about?
But you've seen pop stars growing up, right? Like you've looked at America and you've grown up there as well. And
I am nowhere close to being a pop star.
Okay.
At all. And I don't want the pressure that comes with it either, where you're expected to dress a certain way, act a certain way, always be on point, and always be super impressive or super dressed up, and you know, all those stuff that people expect you to, or larger than life. I mean, I feel like there's nothing in my life that screams any of that. And I wouldn't want it that way either.
With fame and celebrity status and all the things that you've just mentioned comes judgment as well.
Yeah.
And interestingly, you're in a very unique position because although you are Pakistani, part of your upbringing was in America
in New York,
as well.
Yeah.
So your sensibilities and your way of thinking can at times contradict with the more stereotypical Pakistani mindset. Have you found that problematic?
No, I don't think so. I think I've always been very in touch with both cultures in a way. And the judgments that you were speaking about initially, so when you get a lot of love, you also do get some hate, and you get a lot of hate as well. I'm actually glad that all of that happened to me, because before, to be very honest, before Coke Studio Season 9, I used to think I was a grown-up person. And I knew what I was doing in life, and I was confident, and nothing could bring me down and all of that stuff. But after that happened, that's when I realized that there's like, you know, like there's so much more room for learning, improving, growing, maturing, understanding. And
see, you know? I find that quite strange to hear because, you know, you've mentioned Coke Studios now, and I was going to come onto it later, but we'll talk about it now. You say that Coke Studios Season 9 taught you those things, but from where I was standing, I saw nothing but praise for you when those songs released.
See, that's the thing. Like, if somebody meets you and says, for example, oh, I love everything, and then they say, oh, but, you know, X thing could have been different. You're not going to concentrate on all the nice things they said. You're going to pick on that one tiny thing that they said that wasn't that great. So even with all those the comments and like all the love and hate you get from people, yeah, the hate was a very, very small fraction. Alhamdulillah. I mean, God has been very kind to me, and whatever has happened, and like I really, really appreciate, and I'm really humbled by all the love that I got from people. But then, even if those were 5% of the haters, they really did get to me initially.
Was that mostly on social media?
Yeah. I mean, I have no other interaction with people. I'm a very, I'm the sort of person who just likes being at home.
Yeah, sure.
So I never really got a feeler from the outside world, like of what actually really is going on. So, but then I taught myself to not let all the negativity affect me. I started living with myself and the fact that the person that these people are talking about or targeting, they don't even know me, but they're judging this quote unquote celebrity that they've heard about or they've seen on social media. So what they're saying about that celebrity, I shouldn't take personally.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to do with me personally.
Essentially. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that was, like you said, a learning curve. It was a slow, gradual progression as well.
Yeah.
You are an enigma still, though, in Pakistan. And I say that because, you know, I do interview a lot of celebrities and quite often there is a lot already out there about them. You've already told me why you don't do that many interviews. But even in terms of keeping up appearances, so to speak, you don't do morning shows. You don't walk ramps for fashion events.
Oh, never.
You don't really even do that many live performances in Pakistan.
I don't do any live performance. I've never done a live performance. I used to when I was in school. I had an all-girls band and we used to.
Wow, like a cappella style, like
no.
Pitch Perfect?
So I was the lead guitarist. Used to play the electric guitar.
Wow.
There was a girl on the bass, and then we had a girl playing the drums, and we'd collaborate with people, and it was a lot of fun. But then after Coke Studio happened, there was so much pressure on me being perfect or living up to a certain standard or like constant judgments. Oh, she can't sing. Oh, well, maybe she can. Oh, maybe she's just a face. Oh, maybe. I mean, people talk. I let them talk.
Yeah,
it's none of my business. So why you do what you do is the most important thing that you need to ask yourself. I make music because it makes me happy, because it's a means of self-expression. I don't make music to impress others or to get their appreciation. I mean, if I get it, that's great, but who doesn't like being appreciated? But that's not my purpose. So if I know that if I perform at a gig, maybe there's more negativity that comes from it than positivity. Maybe it's not going to bring me as much happiness as I wanted to. Why would I put myself through it?
You know, this is going to sound slightly bizarre, but I'm going to say it anyway. All the love and warmth you've received from doing Coke Studio or even your other songs as well, how does that compare to the negativity or to the certain pressures of celebrity life? Because even if you don't want to admit it, Momina, you are a celebrity. And like I was kind of thinking in my head, I was thinking about, have you seen Secret Superstar?
I have. I loved that movie. I made my mom watch it.
Do you wish you could just be anonymous like that girl and nobody know who your name is or see your face?
That would be the best thing ever.
Really?
Yeah. But then I also am thankful for all the recognition that I have. And I mean, I don't want to be thankless about it because it's enabled me to have this voice where I can reach out to so many more people. For things that really matter, for, you know, like there's so many things that go on in a society and all of us want change. And if you get that opportunity to make that change happen and be a vehicle to make that impact happen or cause, you know, like any effect change, then that's incredible. And so that's what I did. That's when I realized that I could use this and use it to achieve my other purposes in life, then why not? Because everything comes with a pinch of salt.
You did, to an extent, have that anonymity, didn't you? I can't say that word.
Anonymity? Oh my God.
You've given it your American twang. Anonymity, I want to say. Anonymity. but whatever it is, you did have that kind of discretion.
I did.
Because you did a song in a film called Avari,
Yeah.
you were in a film called Ek Villain, called Avari, which I loved.
Thank you.
And I had no idea you'd sung it till so much later.
Yeah, and there was another single that I'd done before. So my thing with all of that was that like I said, I make music to be happy. I never wanted to be in front of the camera, because once you are in front of the camera, then there's so much more that comes with it that I didn't personally want to deal with, because like I like just, living my life and just being a human.
Aren't there perks of being a celebrity? Like you get like queue jump at like restaurants.
I was just about to say that. You read my mind. Yeah, the food is the biggest perk that you get.
You want them to see your face
whatever.
then, right? Yeah.
So the only time I actually used that card was I went to this restaurant in Pakistan, and I didn't want to go inside because there were way too many people inside.
Right.
But I really, really, really wanted their food because they're so good. I was in the parking lot, and in Pakistan, the waiters come outside, and I was like, would it be possible to serve this in the car?
Wow.
And they were like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. Then I rolled down the window. I was like, could you ask your owner? And they're like, of course. And then they got me food. And
Is it at that level? Like, you don't even have to say your name. Like, they just know who you are. They recognize the face. Like, it's that point, right?
I don't know.
You can be a little bit like...
Sometimes.
Okay, only sometimes.
Oh, and sometimes I get so scared. Especially when I'm not in Pakistan, or if I'm like walking around, like just now when I was coming here. When people suddenly stop you and they get really excited, it's really heartwarming, but it also like kind of gives you a mini heart attack when you're caught off guard.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Oh my God. You're like, what happened? Oh.
So those are all the perks that certainly that's one of the big perks of being a celebrity, is the kind of food aspect of it. We've spoken about the negatives.
And cake. You know how much cake I had for my birthday? Do you know I get cupcakes and like random cakes and like chocolates and stuff.
How do they work out what your address is?
Oh no! So if I'm staying at a hotel, so I always put my reservations incognito.
Right.
And if
what code names do you use?
Oh, none. I just don't exist then. I ain't got a name. Nobody cares. Yeah, but like I don't know how, but like people get it like sent, and I see it, and I'm just like, hallelujah.
Wow, amazing. And they just work out where you are, and they send...
Yeah, somehow. Some of these guys are such incredible, amazing people that they just find out.
What about like taking selfies with fans? Are you cool with it? Or
yeah.
all the time?
So when people come to me, I actually get offended if they just come to me and say, oh my God, selfie. I'm like, ouch. Hi, how are you?
They don't have a conversation.
What's your name? Yeah, because the thing is like, I never want the human element to go away.
Of course.
Because then you're just a photo op.
Yeah.
Because like if they would meet my friend who's with me, they would say, hi, I'm blah, blah, and this, that. But like, am I not human?
I mean, I guess like this is all a kind of evolution of what celebrity life has become, right? Because it used to be like, autograph please was the thing like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know.
Oh no, people do that still. And I'm just like, what do I write?
What do you write?
I write lots of love, heart, my name.
Do you change it every time? Like, does your signature change every time you do an autograph?
No, I just write my name because my signature doesn't even have my name in it.
What does your signature say?
It's just M, squiggly.
I love it. Okay. I love it. These are all the inside things about being a celebrity that we never get to hear about anywhere else.
I love having conversations with all these people because like I always think of myself when I was younger, and if I'd run into somebody that I idolized or I appreciated or I liked, you come with certain expectations.
Do you feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself though? Because I guess like you are living by so many principles and morals already, and you're still so young that as you get older, inevitably you will get even more famous, that you'll become burdened by those principles to an extent. I say that because, you know, recently a video of Katrina Kaif came out, and she's in America at the moment on a world tour. And, you know, she's tired after a gig. She couldn't take photos with some fans. They started abusing her in the street. And it was sad to see because, you know, it's not always as rose tinted as some people see it.
Yeah. That's why I actually try to be real about it. A few weeks ago, I posted about having a panic attack. Because the thing is, I had been constantly been on the road for a month and a half. Like I literally, like when you were asking me where I'm based out of, I said my suitcase.
Yeah.
Because I'm always flying around. And when you're always in the public eye and when people are always expecting something or the other from you, even if you say the slightest of things, like, I don't like this, people get offended. So the people who have the most issues with me are makeup artists.
Oh.
Why? Because I don't like it. I don't,
Don't be upsetting muas.
Huh?
You know muas?
What is that?
MUAs? Makeup artists. Don't be
moi.
upsetting them. They're very powerful people.
Yeah, so it seems. But like when I tell them, I'm like, I'm meaning no offense to you. Your work is incredible. It's amazing. It's like somebody making fried calamari, right? People love fried calamari.
Yeah.
I can't have seafood. I just don't like it.
And you're comparing fried calamari to your makeup artist.
Right? So if a chef makes fried calamari for me and it's like the best in the world and I don't eat it, that doesn't mean the calamari is bad. It just means that's not my preference, but I'm still respecting the fact that it's good.
So that must be quite a big hurdle to get over, right? Because, like
people
I said,
get offended, and
of course,
and I don't think anyone should take offense in that, because at the end of the day, it's my face, and what I'm wearing is also like representative of who I am. I mean, there's a reason why I look the way that I look, and somebody else looks the way they look, and because everybody has different aesthetics. So I love doing makeup and stuff as well. So if I do a friend's makeup, they look great, but inevitably, they kind of start looking like me because those are my aesthetics. So with makeup as well, what happens is that the art, obviously, because it's an art, the artist's aesthetics come out. And I'm not an actor or a model. I'm not playing roles. I would love to experiment, but when we are experimenting, when there's a disclaimer that, okay, now we're playing a role.
Yeah.
But if I'm being me...
do you do magazine photo shoots?
No.
Really? That's another one to add to the Momina does not do list.
If there's like something, like if there's more to it than just pictures, then yeah. If there's substance to it where we're talking about a certain thing, or it's like there's a purpose to it.
Yeah.
I don't just want to be, because I'm not a model. And being a model is a very, very hard job as well.
But then it's really hard for you, right? Because all the other female Pakistani singers, and no disrespect to them, they're all great and very talented in their own way, but they do all these things that I'm mentioning. And all of a sudden, when you don't, you come across as difficult, right?
Yeah. See, the thing is, they enjoy it. And I love that they enjoy it. I wish I could enjoy it. Like I said, I'm really uncomfortable in front of the camera. It's not that I don't want to look pretty and all glamorous and stuff and whatever. I mean, sure, you'd love to sometimes. Like everyone likes cleaning up. But it's just that it's just too much pressure. And I already have way too many things to deal with that I don't want to add to that pressure. Especially if you go onto a red carpet. Who wore blah better?
Yeah.
I mean, are you serious? And you're comparing me to people.
That's another thing. You don't do award shows either, do you?
I can't. I mean...
I really like this.
It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. I mean, I've been to 2 award shows and it's just been too much pressure. It's always like, oh, you take a picture of me and then you put me against a model and an actress and say, who carries this better and who wore it better? I mean, obviously, man, like I don't even know how to stand straight. And it's okay.
So let's talk about the music again, because we did start and then we kind of digress. So let's come back there. We spoke about Avari, how I love that song, how, you were doing that for the passion of the music at the time. And you didn't want your face in front of something. But then it happened with Coke Studio, right? What was it about Afreen and that element or the kind of combination of elements that made it so kind of persuasive for you?
Persuasive for me to face the camera.
Yeah.
So the thing is, in Pakistan, there are 2 milestones for every musician. Coke Studio and Bollywood. I had already done a Bollywood song, and because Coke Studio had been very insistent, which I was extremely grateful for, and I couldn't believe it because they were all my childhood icons.
Yeah.
So, and that's the second milestone in Pakistan, Coke Studio. So I thought, yeah, why not? Let's just do it and I'll die a happy person. Like, that's where my music chapter ends, where I'm like, I did what I had to. And I didn't expect it to be any big at all or anything to happen, because I remember Strings having a conversation with me before the release saying, I hope you have a management and a team and everyone ready and whatever. Knew. And I was like, for what?
Yeah.
And they're like, because you just your songs are coming out. I was like,
you seem so chilled about it, but like essentially you just sung with the biggest singer in Pakistan as well. Rahat Fateh Ali Khan is no small person that we're talking about. He's an absolute legend in his own right.
You know what I loved about him though? The fact that I was a nobody in terms of people knowing me and even in terms of skill set. And Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Saab is Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Saab. You don't really even need to give him another adjective. But this person respected me so much, and he respected me as a fellow artist, where we were at par, and he made me feel so comfortable. And for a person like him to do that, I think I learned a lot from him, because that's what gave me confidence. And if an artist as big as him gives another person the same respect, then it also gives you a lot of confidence. And a lot of people don't know this, that in the song, people are talking about how I'm looking, right? The reason why I'm wearing what I'm wearing is because I didn't want to be concerned about, oh, I hope this is not, moving around or whatever. And the reason why I had braids was because I had actually shot another song before it, Tera Wo Pyar.
Yeah.
And my hair was just let down, and it was in my face. So I kept having to push it back, but I wanted to concentrate on the singing. So with Afreen, because I had no rehearsal, I only wanted to focus on the singing.
Right.
So that's why, like, I wore like super
comfortable,
covered, nice, whatever clothes that
because you became
couldn't be bothered.
You became the poster girl for like the perfect Pakistani girl after Coke Studio, didn't you? You and Myra Khan were the two faces that everybody was like, these are the future of Pakistan, and these are the two women that are going to bring us all the respect in the world. That's kind of what happened at that point. How quickly or how soon after that episode of Coke Studio airing did your life change?
Right away.
Yeah?
Right away. So I remember seeing the song and I was like, nice. And I could have done better, but it's okay. And then I went downstairs over dinner. I showed it to my parents and they're like, okay.
Really? That was the reaction?
That's fine. Yeah. Because it was just whatever. Because, I mean, nobody from my family is part of the media or like the music industry or anything. And to be honest, my parents were not too comfortable with it initially. And I had to really like convince them and say, please let me.
Is that because you're a girl going into kind of uncharted territory for your family? Like
See,
you said?
There was no precedence in recent times of anyone my age being a musician and, also be not just be known as a musician, but also be known as somebody with some substance or some personality. Because
how do you convince them?
I convinced them by proving it to them. They weren't convinced until Forbes happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't know that. They think I got everything on a platter and it was served to me. And a lot of people said, oh, well, she was on Coke Studio because her dad was a general in the Pakistani military. Well, A, what does that have to do with Coke Studio? And B, it was my parents who I had to really, really, really like be...
I guess we like gloss over that quite often, don't we? Because it is parental. I don't think it's pressure. I think it's more expectations culturally of what young boys and girls, not just girls, will end up doing career-wise. And although we talk about inclusivity and progression in terms of careers in the arts being more acceptable, we're not quite at that point where it's just universally accepted.
I agree. And I also understand where my parents were coming from. at the end of the day, you do have to live where you live. You do have to kind of think about society for a few seconds, because the thing is, why do you do what you do in your life? To earn respect. What are you going to do with fame and money if you are not respected? So the thing is, in Pakistan, the society is as such that if you are associated with the entertainment industry in any way, and if you're a girl, people will firstly jump to, oh, that's all she is, and they'll look down on you, and you're guilty until proven innocent. So you'll always have to keep proving to people that you're not as bad as they think that you are, and you're only reduced to a face or to a voice or something. So what my parents wanted for me was that, because the thing is, I am an engineer and a mathematician. I really, really care about my academics, because that was another reason why I never really made music when I was in college, because I had my priorities. That really brings me true happiness. You know, math is something that I actually genuinely love. I didn't have
Are you serious?
I love it. I declared it as my second major my senior year of college.
Wow.
Only because I was like, am I done with calculus? It's not going to be part of my life anymore. What? And so, like, I took up more classes. But see, that's the thing. So my parents always wanted to make sure that what my real priorities were, who I really am as a person, and what really does matter to me should also be seen by people.
You've spoken about the first Coke Studios song, but there were many others after that as well. There was quite a few after that over the following
there were
seasons.
3 Coke Studios songs of season 9.
Yeah.
And then when season 10 happened, I didn't really want to be making music. I wasn't in a good space in my life.
Is that because of the backlash from...
Yeah. So after season 9, I didn't make music.
So were you able to absorb you've said how your life changed overnight, but were you able to really absorb and appreciate the love when it's had such a detrimental effect on your...
Yeah. So I learned to appreciate it. So now I'm in a place where I know who I am. I know what I'm trying to do. People are going to say a lot of things, and I respect that as well. I even respect the hate,
right,
because it's coming from somewhere. I've actually started to isolate a person from what they, like throw at others. So that doesn't really matter. I think it was really important for me to figure out why I was trying to, if music was really the thing that really made me happy, and obviously it is, and obviously a lot of people put me down, and cyberbullying is a real thing, and to the point and to the extent where I myself started believing that there's nothing good about me. And this is like really recent. I started believing that I don't know how to sing, I don't know how to play the guitar. Yeah, people are right.
Really?
Oh, she's nothing but a face. Yeah, that's what really happened to me. And I stopped singing, I stopped writing, I stopped playing music, I stopped recording. But then I did this meditation with my friends in LA, Kamla and Siri. They've really helped me with my whole journey, where I isolated myself from all of that noise and tried to speak to myself and see if I think I am good enough or not. And that's when I realized that it doesn't matter. I mean, who says that a certain style of singing is the right one and my expression is not the right one? That's my expression. That's what makes it different. It might not be technically on point. It might not float everyone's boat. Whatever it is.
It's taken about 3 years.
It's all about me. For myself, when I'm singing, I mean, I'm trying to express something, and it's okay. Just like people dance differently. When, like you see people dancing and some person might be doing a different thing and another thing. And I honestly, like, I talk about dancing, I was so awkward that I didn't even dance until a few months ago.
Really?
Because I used to think, oh, I'm so awkward. Everyone's going to look at me and say, she's so lame and this is so not good and whatever. And then I realized that why is somebody else's lame movement so cool and my lame movement lame? But just because not a huge portion of people do that, well, maybe that's more special then.